Welcome back to the Earn by Experience podcast, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Browse. This week we had Hunter Aaron on, and it was a pleasure to get to know him. Hunter is he's a Marine, and he's an outdoor enthusiast, so it was really fun to get to know him and hang out. So I wanted to say, after he left, a couple days later, a package showed up, and I opened it. It was this challenge coin, so I want to show you guys that. A couple other guys gave them to me too, and I plan to make like a nice display case. So this one will be added to the collection. Super happy. It's super heavy too. So thanks again, Hunter. I appreciate that. I can't wait to get on the wall. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I wanted to say thanks for all your support, the likes, shares, subscribes, all that stuff. So it just helps this thing grow and get a little bit bigger. So hope you guys enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next week. Hunter.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
What's up, dude?
Pumped to have you in the studio, man.
Yeah, man. You guys have done a great job with the place. So once you guys got started, as soon as I saw the space, I was like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm pumped. You've been the one to share like almost every time we post something. So.
Yeah, no, but before, and I'm sure again, I've been accused of being a ruthless and relentless supporter of the guys that I'm close with. That's what's most important to me. So as soon as I saw it, like reached out to Dallas, I was like, yo, you guys are doing this. And even if it's just a share, a comment, a like, it can go a long way. And you got to support the guys that that you're close with and that you believe in. So
well, it means a lot to me, and I know Dallas too.
For sure.
When I see that stuff, it's like, man, I need to be better about it too. Like even about saying happy birthday and stuff. Like I'm like kind of guilty of like not even like I'm thinking it, but I'm like I never say it. I need to be more outgoing, I guess. So it's nice to see that. So
no, and I mean same thing. I mean Dallas has always been over backwards for me wherever I'm at across the globe to either make me arrows real quick if I'm running out, or if he gets something in the shop, I just gotta get my hands on. He'll ship it down to me and stuff. So
you
just
can't give him too much praise.
Guys support each other, and that's what it's about, man.
So. It really is. At the end of the day,
isn't that funny though? He said like he gets crap for supporting people too much. How crazy is that?
People. I get it a lot of times because I mean, you guys are friends with me on Instagram too. I share the hell out of stuff.
Yeah.
One, because I enjoy it, but like I said, I'm supporting my friends. Yeah. It is literally free to share something to your story, and I mean the amount of guys that it's been 3 or 4 probably in the last month. They're like, hey, where do you get your bow work done again? Because they see me sharing your stuff all the time, and I'm like, awesome. Go on down to Non-Typical right now. Tell Dallas I sent you. Right, he'll take care of you. But like that's, maybe they first saw your stuff when I shared it, a year and a half ago. But when the time came, they reached out to me to figure out where to go. Right. Yeah. And like, I didn't, and I'm not saying or claiming, I'm making you business. No, Lord knows. Right. But like, did it do it that second? No. 18 months later, though, it did, right? And like, you never know when you're gonna be helping that guy that you're supporting out in the long run, and so it's free to do so. I want to see everyone that I'm close with succeed. So yeah, I'm gonna share the shit out of it, and if you don't like it, click on buy. That's fine.
What's cool about the stories is you can literally just be like, all right, cool, like but you still. I don't know. You still see a little bits and pieces of it, but it don't cost you nothing.
If you don't like it, click faster on the right side of the screen, man. Like that's all I can tell you. But and I think part of that just comes from the amount of supporting people that I have back home. Where I mean, I share just about every aspect of my life. Probably too much sometimes via Instagram story, but like I'm all over the place between friends, family, friends that are always asking my dad what I'm doing. It's just a quick way to let people know, hey, this is what I'm up to. This is what I got going on. This is where I'm at. Or, whether it's the thoughts of the day or gym stuff, like, I'm always getting feedback on that. And, if I'm contributing to someone's day, maybe even through oversharing a little bit sometimes, like, that's a battle won to me. So.
Yeah, I love it. I see, like, the gym stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to go get in the gym. Or seeing your coverage with your little ties you were talking about.
Yeah.
What a great idea. Instead of having a handsaw with you and going out there and making tons of noise, you're out there just pulling the branches down slightly, quietly, and tying them off, and you're not hurting the tree either. So
yeah, and I mean...
little tips and tricks like that, I just learned.
Yeah, because, some places you can't cut. Mm-hmm. We could go down a rabbit hole about what cutting stuff does for scent and how long that lingers and, all of that. But, yeah, simple, effective, pull things together. I got gear for everything, and I figure out an efficient way to strap it to my pack. And, yeah, like, I put those on there last year before deployment just so I wouldn't, like, lose them in boxes of stuff going all over the place. And as soon as I saw those limbs yesterday, I was like, I got just the thing for you.
Yeah. And I learned something. That's how I learn. I'm a very visual learner. I think it's becoming more and more apparent to me over time. And I'm like picking up little tips and tricks and stories. Sometimes it might be that one little thing that you share that resonates with somebody, which is cool. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, they're cool. They come in all different sizes. And, yesterday, two of the limbs I put together were probably... 1.5 inches, 2 inches in diameter each, and that largest one held it like it was nothing. So they'll do the job for you.
Yeah,
I had to put my whole body weight on it to like pull them together. So
wow. Well, you just taught me 2 things and you didn't even know it. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We're doing a good job.
Man, I'm pumped. So I don't know much about you other than I met you at the bow shop once during league or something.
Yeah, it was back in March when I was home. I think
you were. I looked like a military guy. I think I asked Alice about you or whatever. So. So let's dive into about your background and where you're from and what's going on.
Yeah, I'll give you the elevator pitch of who I am. So Hunter Aaron, born and raised on the shore, Cambridge. Grew up primarily waterfowl hunting. Like deer hunting was only rifle season to me. But my dad and I are real big into waterfowl hunting, specifically geese. And I grew up working on the water. Both my grandfathers were commercial watermen at one point. Specifically my mother's father. He trout lined and dredged till the day he died. He got killed on a dredge, drowned out in the Nanticoke.
Wow.
So, yep. Was that like 2011 or something? But hey, that's how he wanted to go. It was like January 4th, Christmas that year. He never talked about death, and we're starting morbid, but it's ironic, right? Never talked about death that Christmas. He was like, when I go, just put me in a pine box out there. They live down in Crochet. And then, 2 weeks later, he died probably about 5 miles from his backyard. Got knocked off the boat by a dredge. But anyways, grew up. I've been calling crabs, shaking crab pots since I was 8 years old. That was my first job. Ride the bike 1.5 miles to the ramp at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to meet the boat and do that during the summer. And haven't slacked up since. But went to Salisbury University, played football there for 4 years. Wanted to join the Marine Corps. Really, I wanted to enlist in the Marine Corps right out of high school, but I wanted to keep playing football. That was probably the only thing that changed my trajectory at that point. And then after that, had a couple football injuries. Took me 3.5 years to get into the Marine Corps due to medical disqualifications and stuff. And September 10th, so coming up on the 9-year mark, September 10th of 2016, left for OCS and haven't looked back since. And that's awesome. Now I'm a company commander, infantry officer in the Marine Corps. That's outside of that, I lift, I hunt. As we talked about, I try to support and motivate people as I can through action and word as best I can, and that's Hunter Aaron, man.
That's badass, dude. Awesome. Cool story.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that the waterman thing is pretty popular around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea too.
Yeah.
You were a part of that.
Yep.
Or your family. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Both of, if it hadn't been for college because both my grandfathers passed away, both of them left me their TFLs If it hadn't been for college, I mean, I'd probably still, I'd be in LA somewhere out on the Choptank River right now, not in the Marine Corps, because I mean, I was ate up with it. But my parents were like, "You're not wasted 2 years of college tuition to go trot line now." And then things, you get a little older, a little wiser, and not to say there's anything wrong with that, but just go a different direction. And but I'm truly thankful for having that as my upbringing, man. You get all the way down in Crochran, end of the world, no other influences. My accent got worse every summer I would come back from working with my grandfather. Like, I'm the only one in my family that really sounds like this. So just being down there around the old timers and everything, where the accent down there in Hooper's Island is really strong, I picked it up and haven't lost it since. So
that's awesome. Is that where Phillips Crab House is, down there on the right there on the water?
Yeah, down Hooper's Island.
That's killer. Yep. So you guys, I'm assuming you take crabs over there and sell them to them, or
no? He sold to a guy in Toddville. So when you look at Dorchester County, it essentially comes down three forks, so to speak. You got Hooper's Island and Hoopersville, Toddville, Bishop's Head, Crochran, and then Elliott's Island all the way to the east. So we were kind of in that middle one, and everything we did was right there in Toddville. So, and I mean, he grew his own, or fished his own peelers. He was pretty self-sufficient. So
badass.
What high school did you go to?
Cambridge, South Dorchester.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, it's probably pretty eye-opening coming from like that world and going to Salisbury and then traveling everywhere.
Yeah,
it's been now.
Yeah, it's been there's no place like home.
Yeah.
But it's been very eye-opening. And when I was home on leave in March, I spoke to the high school there. I just told those kids, like, hey, like, I'm not a recruiter. I'm not telling you to join the military. What I am saying is, after you walk out these doors at whatever stage you're in, whether it's in 4 years or at the end of this year, go somewhere else for 4 years. Mm-hmm. Go, like, whether that's school, the job, the military, whatever. Go get worldly experience somewhere else. One, so that you can, right? Because we all know how it is. You can very easily stay on the shore and outside of vacation never leave, mm-hmm. which is fine. But the experiences that you will gain from going out there and learning from other people from other areas of the country and the world, it'll only make you appreciate this place that much more.
Yeah.
It's free. You're not doing anything from 18 to 22 anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, shoot, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Yeah. We'll see what that is when I retire one day, right? Like that's probably when it'll happen. But
that's good advice for those kids.
Yeah. It's been a great experience. I mean, I've been all over the world, all over the country, training, teaching. When I was an instructor, I mean, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah. What did you go to Salisbury for? What did you specialize in?
Oh man, I switched my major like 3 times, right? Because again, right, I would,
football.
Yeah. So for any of the younger guys that listen to this, don't go to college to play a sport. That's number one. If you're on a scholarship, different answer maybe. But I had no idea. I think initially I wanted to be an athletic trainer. And Coach D, Coach Bennett over there at Salisbury asked me during camp, he was like, "You even know what an athletic trainer does?" And I'm like, "Nope." It had athlete in it, yeah. Right? And then I switched and I wanted to be a gym teacher. And then after that, I was like, nah, that ain't really it. And then, this whole time I'd wrestled between what I truly wanted to do. I always wanted to be a Marine, but I always wanted to be a Maryland State Trooper as well. Because my father was a state trooper for 28 years. So I was like, conflict analysis and dispute resolution, which is a super churched up way to say like mediation. But I was like, yeah, that's something that would probably transfer. And it truly has, like focusing on interpersonal communication, being able to mediate between parties, like that and a business degree would probably come into play anywhere, yeah. Right? So it's been great, but that's what I ended up majoring in was conflict analysis.
That's pretty cool.
So,
well, yeah, I imagine it goes hand in hand with what you're doing now. So.
Yeah, I mean, because you're gonna have you say dispute and it sounds terrible, right? But you're gonna have conflict between two individuals, two parties, no matter what field you're in, whether it's you're one of the parties, or you got two Marines that can't agree on something or whatever, and just knowing how to read the room, read that situation, be the guy in the middle and trying to find common ground and where compromise can occur. It's been extremely beneficial in every job field that I've found myself in.
Yeah, because you probably have so many different personalities. I mean, there's people coming from all over
Oh,
being
yeah.
Marines. It's
Yeah.
different backgrounds and everything. So probably, yeah.
Yeah, all the time, and whether it's from higher, from lower, adjacent company commanders or whatever role you're in, different units, right? It's always going to be there, and it's just having the ability to not lose your cool, sit there and talk through someone, actually hear and understand what someone's saying, and like, hey, out of the 10 things you listed, you really want these 2 things. Mm-hmm. The rest you can compromise on. All right, well, let's figure out how we're going to be able to bridge that gap. And then all of a sudden, everyone walks away, everyone's happy, and off you go.
Yeah. How many guys do you lead?
So we're in the build backup phase of our PTP, our workup for deployment. I'm sitting at 127 right now. On last year's deployment, I had 216. This company that I'm with now, full strength, I'll be sitting at about 275, 280 with all our enablers and engineers and all that.
So you were basically the leader for all of them?
Yep.
I guess. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So what's
Sorry,
that?
I'm trying to figure out how it works.
What's that mean when you say company? Like, so I guess walk me through a little bit of the background that you might already know, I guess.
No. So the Marine Corps operates essentially in like units of 3 with support on the ends, and that's at everything. So a fire team, which is your smallest unit of action, that's a group of 4 guys. You got a leader and 3 other guys. 3 fire teams make a squad, which is same thing. 13 guys, 12 under him. 3 squads make a platoon. So you got your platoon commander with 3 squads. 3 platoons make a company. 3 companies make a battalion. 3 battalions make a regiment. And then 3 regiments make a division. So yeah, like when in doubt, you could bet that there's 3 units of action somewhere.
Gotcha.
And then you've got all your weapons guys, so mortars, machine guns, and stuff. You carry them, so you'll have your 3 normal platoons and 1 weapons platoon. So that's really a company. So I've got 4 platoons. At the battalion level, you got 3 standard rifle companies. You got your headquarters and support, which are like all your non-infantry guys. Those are the guys I had last deployment. So comm, intel, logistics, your administrative guys, and then a weapons company, and then same thing as you work your way up.
Gotcha. There's a lot in there.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm trying. Did you wrap all
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, if I had a whiteboard, I could really
Listen to
nerd.
that back like 20 times.
Yeah, no, I can nerd it out on a whiteboard for you, but
Well, somebody from the civilian world that doesn't, outsider looking in, I've never been exposed to any kind of military or anything in my family or background, so that's why I was like, well, I at least need to dissect it a little bit to figure out where you're at and where we find common ground.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
there's a lot to that.
yeah, it can be a lot. It can be confusing. Yeah, if you're not part of it, it's like, man, I don't know what. Someone's going to be Googling what a battalion is here later, I'm sure.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Like,
I would.
but
So, what got you into it? You said your dad was a state trooper. Is that kind of what influenced it, like, I guess, maybe? Or
yeah, I mean, like I said, I either wanted to be a Marine or be a state trooper.
you knew that in high school or growing up? That's what you were going to do?
I knew that at 6 years old.
Okay.
Like, pre-K, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, state trooper, right? Because of his influence on me and what he stood for. But then I was also fortunate enough that after 9/11 happened, one of the guys that leased the farm that we goose hunt was really involved in the American Legion. So then we started doing wounded warrior hunts and stuff like that. So from a very early age, I was able to have experiences and understanding of the military lifestyle. And one of my grandfathers was, he was in the Navy back in the Korean War. So I had a little bit, but then, so the day I killed my first turkey, I was hunting with the Deputy Commandant of the Marine Corps that was in charge of plans, policies, and operations, General Buck Bedard. And when I killed my first turkey, he gave me his challenge coin. So getting a challenge coin from a 3-star Marine general, like right there over the bird, I was like, dang, like this coin's pretty cool, right? And those guys, I mean, still to this day, I talk to him. I talk to Colonel Fenton. Colonel Will Brown still comes up and hunts with my dad a lot. And he's still down in Jacksonville, North Carolina, where I'm at. So I go over there to dinner with him all the time. And like, those 3 guys are super rooted in hunting. Like I didn't understand it then, but they were living the life that I now live, where the woods is their escape. It's the only time you can truly, like, hey, I'm on leave. I can turn the phone off. Whatever the Marines are doing, that's why you have succession command. It's the guy below me's problem right now. Like, obviously I'm still involved, but the phone call isn't coming directly to me. And it's just an opportunity to finally just slow down and be present and focus on the one thing you love. So
that's pretty cool. Isn't that crazy, though, how those little things, like that guy giving you that coin right when you shot your turkey, just kind of lead you to where you're going? Not that maybe that was making the decision to join the Marine Corps, but those little things adding up.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where the character of men that those guys were, between them and my father, I was like, all right, well, like, one or two options. Yeah. Like, the only other thing I've ever wanted to be other than those 2 things is a great man. Right. Yeah. So, and that was kind of all encompassing. But I think I was probably like 6 or 7 the first time I like saw and kind of comprehended a Marine recruiting commercial. Yeah. And I fell for the blues. Oh, they look so good. Right. And like Dad said, ever since then, those were my 2 options. And then as I gained more exposure and experience, it just became, I was like, state police is always going to be there. I'm going to enlist in the Marine Corps. Well, then hey, you're kind of decent at football. All right, well, like the Marine Corps ain't going anywhere either. Mm-hmm. Then you get done college and you're like, wow, these student loans are expensive, and a brand new enlisted Marine makes what? I don't know if I can do that. So then I learned about the officer route. I used to think the only way you could be an officer in the Marine Corps was either going to the Naval Academy or like, homegrown within the Marine Corps. And I just got out of college. I learned about the officer selection office, which essentially is like the recruiter for officers. Went and showed up, and I was like, hey, this is how I can kind of accomplish both, and the rest is history.
That is killer. Yeah, I remember in high school, you'd see recruiters and things coming in, and but after that, there was no other thing in my mind about it.
So, no, because it's
at the time it's like super serious, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm ready to do this commitment yet. I still got some life to live a little bit.
Yep, even on on a college campus, had no idea. So I happened to be dating a girl at the time that her dad was in the Navy. And he was an officer in the Navy, so he like told me about these OSOs, and
what is an OSO?
Officer Selection Office.
Oh,
okay. Sorry, Marine Corps. You speak an acronym.
I'm getting better about opening them up. I just let it pass by, and then I'm like, well, I better open that up because I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, no. The worst thing in the Marine Corps, everyone speaks in acronyms, and like I love to call people on like, what is that? What's that actually stand for? And like a lot of times you know what the acronym is, but not what it stands for, which full transparency is totally fine.
Yeah.
But like it's just fun. But so the first OSO I ever went to was actually for the Navy. He was trying to talk me into being a pilot. And basically was telling that recruiter the same thing, that hey, I didn't even know this is possible, whatever. And he's like, yeah, every branch has one of these. And I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have told me that. So I just sat there the rest of the conversation, no idea what that guy said. I'm just like, all right, when I get out of here, I'm Googling where the Marine Corps one is. It's because I certainly had a preference, and that's the direction I was going.
That's killer. That's cool.
Have you always been like a natural leader, or do you think you kind of built that within yourselves?
I think it came pretty natural. I mean, I'm my own worst critic, right? But if you listen to a lot of people talk back home, they say it was pretty natural, right? No one, I say this very humbly, no one is surprised by the profession that I do now, right? When you hear them talking and, talking to my parents, what people are saying as they ask for you and stuff. So, which I'm extremely fortunate and humble about. But, I certainly didn't feel like I had it all figured out, but I just tried to, I've always been really good at reading people and paying attention to those that are successful and those that are struggling. And I had a great role model as my father and a lot of great coaches as well. So I think I just, from an early age, tried to pick up on anything I could from them, which I guess loosely translated to being a natural leader.
Yeah, you think, so obviously your dad had a role, but football, like would you play linebacker or something?
Yeah, so I was a linebacker, and then my junior year, we switched to the spread. We had a kid, Taylor Henry, who could throw the football 70 yards. So because we were I formation and triple option team up to that point. So all of a sudden we're switching to the spread. Well, no one knew how to shotgun snap. And I just naturally knew how to shotgun snap. So at 185 pounds, I'm out there playing center and loved it. Loved it. Center with a neck roll, 185 pounds, just releasing second level on linebackers. It was great.
So I guess both of those positions are kind of leadership roles to an extent on the field.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm sure that
I mean, my senior year, for all intents and purposes, I would even make the argument my junior year, but definitely my senior year, I was the leader on the field. Again, talk about great men and great coaches. Derek Coleman was our defensive coordinator. Now Jake Coleman, who's at Stephen Decatur, was our head coach.
Gotcha.
And when the defense was on the field, calls would be made, but I had carte blanche to, if I saw something different, hey, over to you. And I mean, we were dialing it up. Yeah. So yeah, I think I've just been very fortunate for every role I've been put in, and just continue to learn. And it's been a ride, but I just continue to try to evolve. But at the end of the day, right, like this summer, we were on an exercise and we had a bunch of midshipmen, Naval Academy students that were along for this exercise. They have to do a certain amount of weeks in the summer as a Naval Academy student, like learning about the services. And one of the, I did like a town hall with them. And first question, like just sat down and talked to them. Field questions, no specific topic. I was like, hey man, like I'm probably the realest captain you're ever going to get in front of you. Like nothing's off the table. Ask away. You guys, like these are important decisions you're about to make. So first thing he asked me is, sir, could you recommend a list of books that helped you develop your leadership style? And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, books? This is God-given, like Booby Miles, man. Like, you can't learn about leadership from a book. You can get ideas, but like, you can't learn any more about leadership from a book than you can brain surgery, right? If you're just not inclined to understand those things, you're not going to understand it.
Yeah.
Like, leadership is a practical application. You can't read it. Sure, you can study it. But if it is just not in your character to be that, like sure, you might get a little better, but we're talking 5, 10, 20%. If you're not, if leadership is not naturally within you, you're going to struggle until you force it out, and it's going to take getting into uncomfortable situations, not just sitting at home reading a book about it.
Yeah.
There's also space for other like followers, not so much like followers in that sense, but like not everyone has to be a diehard leader too, right?
No.
Or is it? I mean, I guess in your table sit, was it just for leadership, or was it like all across the board for the whole? They were just a bunch of students trying to get.
Right. It was 25 to 30, just whether they were in their second or third year at the Naval Academy. Varying experiences, some of them athletes, some of them, brain children.
Yeah, well, my point was there's like you might have a skill that may not be leadership, but you might be an insane rifleman, or an incredible freaking cleaner of stuff. Like there's other spots for you to shine. I guess is my point.
Find a job and get busy, right? And when the time comes, go at it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was. I expected that question. I mean, because those right, you go to the Naval Academy, you're a top-notch, smart individual.
Yeah, my mother-in-law went there. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like I mean, the classes they take. Like I thought, I'm not gonna say I thought college was hard, but it was definitely some classes were challenging. And then you like talk to one of them, and they're like, I'm taking bioelectrical engineering my sophomore year on top of insert whatever calculus, and I'm like, nope, not for me. But now that was there were some good questions. Like after that like broke the ice, and they were like, oh, this guy's not kidding. Like he truly is just down to earth. And I ended up telling him, I was like, at the end of the day, like to be a good leader, you got to be two things. You got to be good at your job, and you got to be a good dude or dudette. If you were those two things, if you were proficient and you were down to earth and know how to like just socialize with people, 9 times out of 10, people are going to want to work with you. They're going to want to follow you, and they're going to want to get the job done because they respect you.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing overlooked that I see a lot. People think, I was actually talking to my buddy about it the other day, just because these people have these degrees or these accolades, people put them on a pedestal, but they probably couldn't sit here and have a conversation.
No.
Not all of them, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, there's something to having that social skill to be able to break things down and communicate with people that I think is way more important than a lot of things.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like more emphasis on being a good dude. Mm-hmm. Because the amount of times that something has happened at work where if the guys didn't genuinely care about you, like, they just let it slide. Yeah. Like, you're the one who's getting burnt for it. But because they love you as a guy, and they know that you love them and want to take care of them, they start buttoning stuff up real quick. Or like they see something that you overlooked, and they're like, yep, I'm just going to take the initiative to figure that thing out. Where if you're just really good at your job but not a good dude, they're like, he's smart enough, he'll figure it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You get spiteful at times. Yeah. Like if you treat the people you work with even decent, they're gonna want to work for you. They're not gonna want to see you fail.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like basic foundation stuff. Like,
yeah.
There's some, whatever, there's all kinds of kinds, but if you just genuinely want to be a good person, like I strive for that every day too. It's probably why we attract each other, like as far as just hanging out, we met each other and, oh, this guy's a good dude.
Yep.
There's something to that. Like you can feel it almost, like, I don't know, just a natural thing though, It's like, I think I'm just being me, but it's so uncommon, like some people don't have that. So, of course, there's all kinds of kinds, I guess. I'm not trying to be preachy, but it's nice though that everyone kind of, attracts each other and gets stuff done.
Yeah, what's the old expression? If you run into assholes all day, you're the asshole.
Yeah,
right?
Probably.
right? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, like, you can have all the knowledge and information in the world, but if I either can't have a conversation with you or can't stand to have a conversation with you, mm-hmm. how am I supposed to get that?
Right, and there's something to being receptive too to the even though you might be a leader, some leaders are great at being receptive to other information. If you have I don't know, whatever lower level, insert whatever, I don't know, grunt job there is, tells you, hey, there's a better way to do this, you're probably open to it. You probably listen to it at least, and then be like, all right, well, I'll take it under advisement. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, then go back to get in line.
Yeah. That's the fundamental of the Marine Corps, right? Like, I have a maybe 70% understanding of a wide array of things. I'm 100 feet deep and a mile wide. But then you got your riflemen, your machine gunners, your mortarmen, your anti-armor guys, your snipers, whatever it is. And those guys are freaking 10 feet wide, but 10 miles deep. Mm-hmm. And like, you have to be receptive to when you're building a scheme maneuver of how to move on to an objective, and a machine gunner comes up to you and it's like, hey, like I tweak this, change the positioning or the angle of that. Same thing with mortars, whatever. You have to be receptive to that because that is the subject matter expert. Mm-hmm. And if you're not a good dude and you're like, oh no, like, I know what I'm talking about. I'll look at a PFC or a Lance Corporal, and if they have a great idea, I genuinely thank them, and I'm like, it's humility, mm-hmm. right? And they should know their leaders are humble and don't know everything. I'll literally be honest with them and be like, I did not even think about that. That is an excellent point. Mm-hmm. Or if, and you know, again, I think this is all part of leadership, and there's a time and place for it, whether in the moment or later, where even if you end up dismissing that recommendation, you go back and you have a conversation with that individual and explain to them whether it was a time constraint. Hey, no, there was this other influence that you didn't have the sight picture on, right? Like, we can both learn from this scenario. That way they know you're still invested in their idea, because nothing's worse than, hey, I got this great idea. You tell whoever and they just kind of do nothing about it. Then you start to lose trust and confidence in that individual and investment in where everyone's going. But if you freaking just turn around and take the 5 minutes to have a conversation with that person later about either, you know, what changed on the deck that you couldn't do that or why you couldn't, like, one, you're growing them as an individual in case they then get into that position. But you're just still showing them that, like, hey, even in the moment, I was thinking about what you recommended. I just simply couldn't do it. And they know that they're still there with you.
Yeah, and they feel valuable too, I guess. I mean, that's great. That's great advice. I probably need to apply that to my own life.
Yeah, and you know, there's so many times where, you know, especially you get on a live fire range or doing something, or you're in the woods in the middle of the night, right? Like, I can't have this conversation with you right now. But what I can do is when we're done, you know, sit down, and whether it's to everyone or pull them off to the side and just have a simple conversation about, like, hey, these things changed, whatever. And that's why we couldn't go with what you said. It's like, yeah, no, that totally, you're opening the aperture for them as well, with just a little bit of mentorship or just a general conversation.
Yeah, that's cool. What's an average day look like for you these days, right now, if you go to work?
I'll talk. Well, I'll kind of try to blend the two together. You got two versions. You got garrison, or like office life, and then you got field life. So garrison, I'm normally up at 4, in the gym by 5. I'll lift until 6:30 or so. Get in the gym. The Marines don't normally, they're PTing with their subordinate leaders, whether it's platoon PT, squad PT, whatever. Normally around the same time, 5:30, 6 o'clock, they get going. I try to get in the office by 7, just kind of slow roll my morning before anyone gets in there. I can have a cup of coffee and check my emails and get things kind of up and off the ground. But normally by like 8 o'clock, guys are filtering in and we're off and running, whether it's just day-to-day task of prepping for one thing or the other, planning field exercises, classes, etc. So the Marines normally, like, they're out in the backyard. They're going to the armory. They're pulling weapons. They're pulling their kits out of their rooms, and they are just rehearsing whatever we have identified as our next training and readiness standard that we need to meet to get ready to go out and confirm that stuff, whether on the range or in the tree line when we go to the field for a week. So like that's the majority of their day. The majority of mine, the level I'm at now, I'm probably either building PowerPoints, sitting in meetings, and every now and again, like, the instructor in me gets the itch, and I'll go teach some form of class to squad leaders and up, just kind of level set where I want the company to be on stuff. But then normally it all depends, 4 or 5 o'clock, we're shutting things down and rinse and repeat, do it all over again. Now, if we're in the field, that completely changes. You're up at 5, normally, 5, 6, depending on how late you train the night before. I try to get the guys at least 4 to 5 hours of sleep in the field if I can.
So they sleep in the field, and you like, how's that work?
Oh no, we're all
you're all in the field.
Yeah, so we'll have a COC, Center of Operations.
Like a camp base almost.
Yeah,
base camp.
out of a like a high back JLTV. So like, old school Humvee with like, box tarp.
Gotcha.
On the back of it, but the JLTV is the new variant. But like, we can operate everything out of there. We got comm going, we got maps up, we're battle tracking everything, and then whether if we're on a range, which is a little more administrative, still like in the adjacent tree line, but covered in a line or broke out by a squad or platoon operating out patrol bases and stuff, like still to just like get the muscle memory of that stuff. Or if we're just like in the tree line doing non-live fire stuff, like those guys could be spread out over like 4 square kilometers, right? And we're battle tracking, we're under a cami net, like we're fully in it, trying to do it. That stuff's more, if you're doing non-live fire stuff, that stuff's more like day on, stay on, 24 hours a day, where you're sleeping in shifts and making movement to do water resupplies and check on the guys and stuff. If you're doing a live fire range, you're probably going to shoot until, because you're going to do dry and live day runs, so like no ammo, rehearsing, and then do it with live rounds. Then you go rinse and repeat that at night. And then just depending on what you're shooting, etc. Like, what was that? All last week we were doing squad attacks. So we would, that same iteration all day, and then you would do the same thing at night. So we were shooting until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, bedding down until like 7, get up and do it all over again.
It's crazy. So one thought I had is like Navy SEALs and all them, they get a lot of the credit for like the big missions and stuff, but you guys are more first defense, like boots on the ground. Like, do you guys have like a rift between the Navy and the Marines, or how's that work?
I mean, I'm yeah, sure, it exists, right? Like at some level it does, right?
Yeah.
But with maturity, with experience comes the understanding of different skill sets, different special abilities and capabilities that various units bring, and if to compare the two, right? Like maybe I got a good throwing knife. Mm-hmm. I can put that thing on the dot of an eye anytime I want. Well, that's great. But this Swiss Army knife that I got, I can do a lot with this thing. And like if I put the knife part out and throw it at you, I'm probably still going to hurt you where you freaking go away, right? Right? Like there's different task, purpose, mission sets for everything. And when you look at the grand scheme of how our ground forces are arrayed out, that's why the Army is so much bigger than the Marine Corps. The Army is an occupational force. They are designed to sustain themselves, essentially. So I'll work in order. The Marine Corps, if I were to take the Marine Corps, just because we're like adjacent to it, so I'll use it as an example, right? But like ocean ponds. Mm-hmm. If the U.S. government wanted ocean ponds, the Marine Corps could go in there and we could sustain ourselves for up to 30 days, ship to shore, getting all our stuff being flown in from ships, etc. Then after that 30-day mark, it's time for the Army, because they are an occupational force. They bring all the toys, all the supplies, everything that they need to like truly set up camp and hold that area. And then whether it's SEALs, MARSOC, Delta, you name it, all the guys that make you go boo in the night, right? Like that is those guys, and there's probably plenty of people that can tell you way more about it than I can, right? But like I can tell you what they can't do. They can't sustain an area for 30 days on their own. 96 hours, right? Like for our scout snipers, like that's normally like a rule of thumb. They're traveling light. They have a very specified task. 96 to 120 hours is about max sustainability for them, right? But hey, I can take 4 to 12 of those guys, and I can helo cast them or hey ho them out of something, deep and go do the thing, reconnoiter or scout and surveil an area that I can't do with a unit of 170 guys. I can't even do it with a group of 30 as a platoon, right? So all different mission sets. Yeah, I'm sure there's 150 20-year-olds that are either SEALs or just straight 0311 Marines that are like, oh, to hell with the SEALs, and no one understands what the other one does.
It's cool you put it in perspective like that, though, because I guess the first time I really saw it, and I know the movies are dumb or whatever, but like American Sniper, when Chris Kyle was giving his spotter shit, he's like, I'm going down to knock doors down with the Marines. It kind of like brought light to, dude, you guys, your job, obviously they're all dangerous, right? But you guys are the ones kicking in the doors for the big, like you're saying, sweeping cities and stuff like that. And I thought that was cool. It kind of brought it to light to me. You know what I mean? The differences.
Yeah, like when you talk about all the things that people don't think about is the amount of assets that come to bear when you send SEAL team whatever to go hit a specific building, right? Like whether it's adjacent units that have a cordon or a blockade, they have isolated that position. ISR, whether it's drones or MQ-9s or a true air over the top, like there is so much invested into that one thing to go do that one place. And, like that scene in Ramadi, maybe you had a cordon set up with other Marines or Army units, but it is truly, it's door to door. And you got a stack of maybe a squad max 13 guys that are working on a block, and you got to be ready for whatever you walk in on, right? Like there's no air in the overhead. There's no one sitting in a trailer somewhere that's flying a $1 million drone with a thermal optic that's telling you that like one guy is egressing from the north. It is literally you and your sight picture in front of you is all the support that you have other than the guys that are in the stack with you.
There's not much intel or I guess preventative maintenance. Like when those SEALs go in, they know.
Yeah, that
to
thing.
an extent, obviously, I'm not
right.
For
Yeah,
that,
I mean, in a perfect world, someone has probably been watching that thing for at least 2 days. They know exactly how many people are in, vehicle, house, whatever, and like they're actively watching it.
Yeah.
You start going door to door, street to street, and it is just an ever evolving problem or mission set where it's just rinse and repeat. It's a different kind of grind.
Yeah.
And again, right? It takes all kinds. Some guys are more inclined and built and equipped for one mission set, and then you have the other one where hey, if I don't have 12, 13 highly capable individuals that are trained across comm and all this stuff that can truly go and do this very niche thing, I got 200 guys I can throw at you real quick that are pretty damn good at just figuring it out. So yeah,
that's cool.
For all the common goal though, everything. I mean, all the things you just said, I'm trying to compute it, but it seems like everyone's it's big, even though they're separate and their niche is this and blah blah blah. It seems like everyone's just it's for the common goal.
Yeah.
Same team, right?
Right.
They're just different.
When you think about it, right? Like let's break this down to very similar to how I was talking about, like over the course of days. Let's look at this at like a 3-block approach. So you got 3 city blocks, and obviously this in actuality this would actually be stretched out like from here to Salisbury, but 3 blocks. So you got your very niche guys that have the ability, capability, and capacity to be dropped all the way in the top block, and they can sustain for a week. Then you've got the Marines that are in the second block. Right, like they're pushing the lines forward. So you're scouting, patrolling, and reconnoitering in the top block. The middle block, I'm like reaching to gain more terrain and influence that area and figure it out and control it. And then you have the Army, obviously outside of like the Rangers and Delta, like they're able to go to the top block, but the true Army is only in block 1, maintaining control an occupation of Block 1. So like everywhere you look, put it on a map, just draw, in 180 degrees or really 360 if you need to, kind of a 3-leveled approach. And that's how the reach works. And that's how, all right, hey, as I continue to control and dominate more terrain, I can spread out more. And that's how you grow an area of influence and turn it into an area of operations. And all of a sudden you are owning that space. And then just rinse and repeat. So that's kind of how those things, they all layer together, but yeah, for one common goal, to continue to drive whatever that mission set is.
Yeah. Now, do you guys have you been on any active deployments, or is this just mostly training here in the States and then you guys travel out, or how's that work?
Yeah. So I've been on 3 deployments. Nothing, times we're in, nothing's combat related. But let's say I've been to Japan twice. I've been to Norway once. And the big thing with any of those is just going and working with other nations, and whether they're allies or partners, sharing experiences, training. We did a thing last year up on the mainland of Japan, where we literally had a simulated fight with the Japan ground defense force. So like just giving them a fresh set of eyes and us a fresh set of eyes against like a living, thinking adversary. Like nothing scripted. Hey, you're in this box. You can enter it this time. You can enter it this time. Best man win.
How's that work with like what are you guys shooting and stuff?
So it's all, anytime you do something like that, it's all blanks, and then depending on, Saab actually makes some really great gear. Where you mount like a laser, an IR laser that goes on the front of the gun. So every time you fire it, it engages the laser. It's tied to something that you have on your helmet, something that you got over your vest that has all these sensors and stuff. And they, no kidding, like they put towers up that are like geotagging and following, and like you can go back, play it, and like watch the lasers. Like you can do a full debrief. It's like watching a video game, back. Other times you have what's called observer controllers. So that's just like, if I was the observer controller for you two get into a gunfight, I'm talking to the observer controller on the other end. And he's like, hey, I've got, a medium machine gun oriented down this road, and you two go across the road and the machine gun's active. Probably got you guys, right? So there's different ways to do it. But they, that time specifically out there, they had a whole, laser integrated battle tracking system that once you're hit, like a lot of them even have like voice boxes on it, and they'll tell you, where you were hit, whether it was catastrophic injury or like you need to apply a tourniquet to whatever extremity. So it's, the technology's coming a long way to be able to orchestrate some of that.
What about like when you're working with Japan? Are you guys both going over everyone's equipment before you go out in the field? Because obviously there's no ill will, you don't think, but like just that thought of in your head, like, well, what if someone forgot to put blanks in, or like, do you guys both commanders or whatever it is, high ups, check everything together?
Yeah, that goes into a whole prep for combat and pre-combat checks thing where you're making sure everyone's cleared out before you even issue the blanks. Like you're checking everyone's mags, everyone's weapon. You're completely lining out anything that they're taking to the field with them to make sure there's no live rounds or anything crazy as you transition from one to the other. And then BFAs, so like blockades on the end of your barrels, so that even if there was a live round in there, it's going to hit that, it's going to destroy the weapon, but it's there's a lot of administrative benchmarks that you have to hit before you can just be like, let's go blank fire at each other. Right?
I was
of course.
Also, I was just like, man, that would.
Well, that's a question I had too. I just didn't know how to articulate it.
Or if you guys
nice to know that you're not going to be getting shot by, you have a belt or something, and you just pull out a mag, and I'm sure there's tons of checks. It's not just whatever. Just curious, it's a concern I'd have.
Yeah, there is.
It's your life.
There is like no kidding, hardcore legally binding things that exist. So like if we were to do live fire today, I couldn't even attempt to do non-live fire like force on force for, well, let's see, to timestamp it until 11:22 on Friday. So you have to have 24 hours in between. And during that time, 3 lineouts, full lineouts have to occur.
What's a line out?
So like where, like if anything you're taking to the field, so your mags, your weapon, your full kit, your entire bag. So like, even your sleeping system, like who's going to have a live round find its way into the sleeping system? I've seen it before, not intentionally, right? But like you're pulling all of that stuff out. You're picking it up. You're turning it inside out. You're going through it, getting hands on it to make sure that there are no live rounds on your person anywhere.
That's cool. Nice.
So
yeah, there can't exactly be mistakes in that department.
Yeah. No. That is the one thing that can, and even if nothing catastrophic happens, if someone finds a live round on you during a non-live fire event, one, it's an immediate ceasefire red, everyone stop moving. You're probably getting ready to line everyone out again. But for those that did the line out, like you are immediately in hot water. Like that, and it shouldn't be played with, right? So understandably so, but I mean, it will press pause on everything that you were doing.
Yeah, what's punishment look like? Is it just workouts or something? Or
Nah, it all depends. I mean, I've seen guys get relieved for it, for sure. Or you have all types of administrative paperwork that can go with that. If you're a terrible leader, they'll start building a package on you. But mostly it turns into just a huge headache for everyone else because now you got to stop training for
restart.
Yeah, insert whatever unit size, and you got to line all those guys out again, and it messes up the whole thing.
So all the deployments have been training missions, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. On the, I don't know how to say it.
I assume it's still proactive, where you're holding whatever land down. You're still
there is a level of deterrence that occurs by the things that you are doing. So to put that in the most PG way that I can, right?
That makes sense.
You're not there just because we decided to go train with Canada or whatever, right? Like, and I just threw Canada out there. Outside of the summer, I've never actually been to Canada. But you're there for a reason, doing the things that you were doing. Just while you were doing that, you're also getting to work with those nations and other nations in the area to sharpen the steel a little bit more.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What kind of cool field toys do you guys have that are? I guess there's probably a whole array of it, but is there something that's wicked technology we don't know about or anything?
Now the big push with everyone is drones.
Mm-hmm.
So some of that stuff's starting to come online. We still don't have the super little one the size of this can that I can pull out of my pocket and that you see on movies and stuff. Yeah, we don't have any of that stuff. Especially at my level, again, knowing and understanding the different mission sets that people have, there are units that have some really great, cool stuff. My guys, hey, I need a M27 infantry automatic rifle that can just sit on freaking full auto and dump a MAGA 30 in 5 seconds flat. That's cool. I need medium machine guns, heavy machine guns, and mortars. If you give me that, I and maybe a Skydio drone, which we do have, which are probably comparable to the DJI drones that everyone has, right? One of those, so I can do my own aerial reconnaissance up ahead inside of a click or 2 clicks, do some observer stuff, adjustment of fire, stuff like that with that. That's about the coolest stuff that we have. We're still very much, it needs to be able to go on your back and you need to be able to walk a long way with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's it's crazy. Like you said, the different details or, I guess, funding certain departments have. My brother-in-law's friend is on the SEAL teams, and they got flown out to Montana to do training exercise and like rifle an elk hunt rifle at the same time.
That's wild.
And like paid for it and everything.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I miss the government. I miss the government paid deer and duck hunts. I'm not at that level yet.
Crazy? He was telling me that. I'm like, there's no way. Are you serious? Like, yeah, I swear.
If that was the case, man, I'd be figuring out a way to incorporate archery in Iowa real quick. Yeah, real quick. I'll be like, yeah, we need to go the first week in November. Like, the temperature is perfect for this training.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Do you guys like does Marshcop train with you guys in certain?
We will. So what we'll do, the normal handshake between those two, the normal grunts and Marsoc.
Marsoc. I guess explain Marsoc.
So because truly I don't know a whole lot.
Forces.
Yeah, they're the Marine version, or the Special Forces version of a Marine. They've got a really unique mission set and capability. I'd probably piss some people off. They like to think that they're up there with the SEALs and stuff, based off funding and stuff. They can do a lot of cool stuff. If put in that scenario, they could do it. But they truly exist at more of a like advise and assist, right? Like they are the guys that can go forward and do certain things, but they're also really good at being the first guys that you can put into a country. If you need them to direct action something, they can, but they're also really good at like taking foreign militaries and being able to teach, coach, and advise them on specific tactics, techniques, and procedures to progress their capabilities, right? So like you'll see them in a lot of places well before we're even really doing anything military related there, just solely as advisors. They do a lot of advisory stuff. So, but they are, I've got several good friends that are officers in Marsoc, and a couple of my Marines have gone over there. They're highly qualified individuals. Same thing. Their skill set and their capabilities, because they are, even in the advise and assist role, they're alone and unafraid out there, right? Like the closest thing that they probably have is if we have an embassy there working with the State Department, right? Like they are the sole representative of the United States Marine Corps wherever they are at, and they have to be able to sustain and operate there. So, but to go back to your original question, normally what like training with them will look like, we will normally support their training, like whether it's in a role player or adversary fashion for like force on force stuff. And then normally there's a good dude handshake that occurs where like, because they have the funding in the schoolhouses and the money where like they do a lot of CQB, room clearing, etc. So like on the back end of their 4-day evolution, we'll get a day working with them showing us like some more high-speed room clears or some of the capabilities that they have, like some more hands-on with like some cool stuff. Like there's a buyback. There's a handshake, a transaction that occurs. But normally we're just out there being the Indians to their cowboys sometimes.
That's cool.
But hey, like it's still, hey, you get the guys motivated to go out there, and it's like, hey, you get to train against guys that like truly do this thing. They do the damn thing. Go give them a show. Yeah. You put them in an underdog scenario. That's Go give them a show, and the guys love it.
Yeah. Do you sorry?
No.
You, I guess, with having your military background and all the gear you guys have, and how you have to be so squared away, do you think that translates into the way you started bow hunting and like the way you go about it, making it so tactical?
100%. Like it is. I'm fully immersed in it. Like I can't look at gear now.
Yeah, you're
with. Yeah, I am. I am absolutely, but because it breeds efficiency. right? Like what was that? Sunday before Delaware season opened up, I had everything on the tailgate, everything spread out. I'm going through, I'm op checking batteries, I'm re-pulling on mollies, I'm making sure that my dump pouch with my lineman's belt, my tethered, my gear strap, like it's all echeloned in there perfectly how it's going to come out, because if not, I'm just going to be sitting up the tree or at the bottom of the tree fiddling with all my stuff.
Sweating your ass.
Like everything, even the strap that is, that like my saddle clips to before I go up the tree. Excuse me. Like, I was playing around with that on Sunday, and I moved it 2 mollies to the left just because it was more inconvenient to get to where it was. Like, it took me longer to get it snapped back in. Yeah. Instead of if it was, hey, right here off my back hip. Like, I just...
Hold on. Is a molly... I know what it is now that you're explaining. It's the loops.
Yeah.
Here, but would the normal saddle guy know that, or is that because you're a Marine and that's like something you guys go by?
I don't know.
I'm curious if you talk to another guy with saddle. Yo, what molly do you use?
And...
Is that a military term, or...
Well, no, I think molly's pretty
all right,
widespread
so I just
now.
don't know. Okay.
I think it is.
I use a hang on, that's why.
Yeah, but most of the guys that I talk to on a regular basis in the hunting industry, like I talk to them for a reason, because they're like-minded, like-minded individuals. So for the guys that I talk to, like that would probably be pretty standard, right? But no, like it is totally, which it's totally transcended into my hunting life from just like a overall preparedness, prep for combat, efficiency. But the biggest thing that it is kind of translated to is, you get into the military and everything is just always go, 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 go. Like, I don't want to call it, because it's not adrenaline, but you're just at a high tempo all the time. And I think it's translated to me where, like, what I don't want to do is go sit in the same stand every single time. Like, we were talking about earlier, the tree that I was in yesterday. 90% of people probably would have looked at that tree and been like, absolutely not. Like, I'll go sit in that skinny oak or a pine that was 50 yards away, but I wanted to be right there. And I was like, it's going to take a little bit of work. It's going to be like it. I was more excited just to be in the tree that I was in, because I thought it was really cool, and like it made me like, it was where I needed to be. It made me feel like I was in it. I was competitive, right?
There's something about that.
Yeah, like
so much confidence in the spot and everything. You know what I mean?
Confidence and just like that, like being on the edge, right? Like I'm pressing. So I think it's just completely changed the way that I hunt and the way that I prepare. I mean, I remember, because I didn't get serious about bow hunting.
Yeah, how did you get into bow hunting?
So, I mean, I originally, let's see, I used to just gun hunt, and like, I want to tell a story real quick, because this is probably like 2 of my favorite memories that like supported me getting into deer hunting. So, grew up waterfowl hunting. I randomly took an interest in deer hunting, and all of a sudden, my birthday is December 5th. I'll never forget, I was like 10, 11 years old. My dad didn't deer hunt at all, and he goes, hey, what do you want to do for your birthday tomorrow? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never viewed my birthday as anything crazy. He was like, well, I talked to, it was a guy by the name of Danny Windsor, had a stand probably like 400 yards from our backyard in this old timber cutover, like cut over to the right, marsh to the left. And he was like, I talked to him, and he said, we can go hunt that tomorrow morning if you want. Well, like, I don't have any understanding of, like, you got to get in the woods early, like, it's going to be dark, whatever. So there it is, 4 o'clock in the morning, he's waking me up. Like, I mean, I can distinctly, as I'm telling this story, I can see the transition between the hard cut, the like 5-year-old pines under the headlamp, or really it was a mag light, right? Yeah. Like, we both got mag lights. And, walking in that morning, and we saw one doe. She came from right to left on the marsh, but like that was just, he knew I was interested, so he found a way to do it. Well, then, I wanted to keep doing it. So he talked to a woman, again, probably about a half mile down the road, and got me permission to hunt her spot. And it was just a wooden stand that we went and we revamped the platform on. It was probably like 30 yards off the road. Well, he would always go to such an extent, because this is still when I was too young to really be going by myself. But even if he was, by that point in time in his career, he was the duty officer out of the Easton Barracks. So he's on the desk managing the shift, the troopers that are on the road. Any afternoon I wanted to hunt, he would get someone to sit the desk, and he would drive back down to Hudson, which, like, even at state police speed is probably like 40 minutes, right? Like, we never went to town slower than 75, 80. Great excuse to work on pursuit driving. 343 ain't never seen something move like that bullet used to. And but he would drive down there. I would get off the bus. I'd grab my slug gun, and I'd walk my happy self right down the road, shotgun in hand, climb up in the tree, and eventually he would get there. And it's like 30 yards, so he would park the police car on the culvert on the other side of the field, leave it running, and he would wear it, still in the thank God for the color of the state police uniform. But he would wear his olive drab pants. He'd throw a camo jacket on. He'd have his gun belt and his radio, and he'd put a little earpiece in, and he would just stand over top of me on the platform so I could sit there and deer hunt.
That's cool.
And then when it was over, he'd get in the car and freaking drive back to Easton. Always made me walk home. Right? Which is good. Yeah. But back to it. So, had a couple good encounters. Again, he found me more places to hunt, another place close to home. And I just started driving, and I had a couple good encounters. But, it's like rifle season. And, deer nocturnal coming out just at the edge of dark, whatever. So then I'm like, man, I got to find a way to get after these deer sooner. Well, for years, a buddy of ours... I thought about this morning. A buddy of ours had continued to offer to let me use his crossbow, and my dad was like, "Absolutely not."
Nice.
If you want to bow hunt, get strong enough to pull one back.
Thank God for your
dad. Right? Like, man, I'm about that. Yeah, like it might be great to get them kids involved. Yeah, mine's gonna want to be in the gym at 7. I can promise you, because he's gonna hear that early and often. But. So I finally went and bought a bow, and man, I was terrible. I just didn't have the discipline. I didn't have the discipline, the understanding. I had another good buddy, Chad Foxwell, who we're 16, 17 years old, and that dude's shooting 50 yards, no problem, just naturally gifted. I just didn't understand it. So then I kind of, hung it up. I got busy with football, whatever. Then I get back, and it's just kind of there. I'll shoot it, but I'm not that confident, whatever. Man, and then I, right after my first deployment, I came home in February. We're walking one of my little pieces, and I found just an absolute stud, drown. And I was like, man, I got to figure out a way to get at remembering that past experience, and man, I just jumped full head first into it. That lined up with, I bought a bow and I started shooting and just balancing it with work. Well, then COVID happened, and we were working from home, right? Because didn't want everyone interacting, whatever. So we're teaching Marines classes on Skype, right? That's crazy. They're sitting in their barracks room, I'm sitting down in my house. So there's not a lot to do during the day. So I just picked up the bow, and it was something to do every single day. And I started the more I shot, the better I got. And it just started getting tied into this whole discipline mindset. And I just noticed what a great stress reliever it was. And so then the next deployment, because COVID happened, February, March of 20. We were supposed to deploy in March. That got backed up to May. And then we were getting back in October. So I spent that entire deployment studying rut tactics, nice. Podcast, reading, getting on, I didn't have Onyx at the time, I don't think, or maybe it just came out, but like, I'm e-scouting before the term e-scouting was a thing, really, or at least to me, right? I'm just scouring maps. And so I take my understanding of, rut tactics, and I had from November 2nd to November 10th off. That fell into our post-deployment leave window. So, and this before I started messing around on public land or whatever. And I take what I learned and I just start putting it into application. And it took me till like day 3. I finally had like an encounter with a buck at 50 yards chasing a doe because he was freaking scent checking the downwind side of bedding. And it's like, oh snap, like this makes sense. And then like I start pressing in. And finally, like the second to last day, I learned this area enough. And I mean, I all but called my shot. I was like, wind's doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to set up here. Like right after sunup, that joker should be right there. Sure enough, 8 yards. There he is. I had let social media get to me. I said, that deer's not big enough. They're probably a 130-inch 10-pointer in Maryland. Mm-hmm. What am I, 160s aren't everywhere. I let that deer walk.
Have you shot a deer with your bow before that? Like a buck?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, yeah, I know. Idiot.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, please. Idiot. Right? But I had romanced this thing up in my head so hard that, like, I'm going to be the guy that did the thing and killed a monster. No. Yeah. Right? But still, like, the validation of... That was when it... Like, one, it was finally, like, some...
It paid off.
Yeah, it paid off. Like, it was the validation of, like, hey, if you work at this thing and understand it, like, you get... you're a gearhead, right? Mm-hmm. And, that feeling of when you finally crank the motor over the first time.
It's go time.
Yeah, even if it runs for 30 seconds, it's like everything I did before this moved in the right direction to get me to right here. And that was that moment. Like it fired up.
Oh, yeah.
And even though I let that deer walk, I was like, I can do this. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm naturally inclined to study it. And man, it took off from there. I still should have never let that deer walk.
You said you can do this, but every time you just start thinking about it, like every 3 months probably in the back of your mind.
I mean, that
takes those to really reinforce next time. It's going to be different.
I got a couple of them.
All that.
Yep. I mean, I've got it on film. Yeah. I watch that video all the time.
I think I've seen it.
I posted it like 2 years ago. It's actually, that post is what got me on my first podcast.
Nice.
My buddy David Riley was like, "Dude, we gotta talk about this." I should have killed that deer. Cameras, nothing. Have never seen that deer again.
Really?
Never. But yeah, that the fire was like burning, and that just dumped freaking kerosene on it. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, now I've turned into. I mean, I still love to shoot geese, but like I used to be ate up with waterfowl. I start thinking about geese like when rifle season comes in, because like early season and the rut are over. If not, it is. I mean, it's an all day, every day. I mean, it's the middle of May, and I'm on Onyx looking at something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, or I'm tinkering with gear. I'm shooting the bow. Like that is what I do.
Yeah. Well, I saw your post a while back when I started getting my hang and hunt and getting it fired up, and I'm rehearsing out of it and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, nice, he's doing the same thing. We must be doing it. It's that time of year. Dude.
Well,
we open up Friday.
Friday, yeah.
So 2 days I'm getting fired up.
Yeah, and again, going back to talking about how my military experiences have translated to my hunting. I probably would have always been the guy that was, the people you hate. Hey, I'm going to drop my bow off to you August 15th because season opens up in 3 months or three weeks.
September 15th?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, after they went out and shot over the back of something already. Right, but point being, crack the case open 2 weeks before and do the thing. But now I understand how important it is, not just with shooting, but like, hey, if you're gonna hang and hunt, go rehearse with the thing at least a couple times, because guess what? You're getting ready to be in the middle of the dark. Mm-hmm. When I go in the morning, and it's situation dependent, and like Delaware opening morning, the piece of public I was on, first time going in there at night. I'm going in there with a white light on. I'm not getting all turned around, and until I get to a certain point, then I'll cut it off. But there are certainly places that I'm familiar enough with that, like, I don't even take headlamps. I can go to get up and set up everything in the tree based off how I know it's positioned in my pack and by the way it feels, because I've rehearsed with it to that level of familiarity.
Yeah, and not every time it's going to be this picture perfect thing. Like it takes those rehearsal things to like slip off the stick, or make sure it's tight, or whatever it is saddle wise. I don't know, but it all combines into success at some point.
Yeah,
I think.
And I'm a firm believer still that, like, if you're hanging and hunting the first time up the tree in the woods, it's going to be a shit show regardless. You can rehearse all you want. It literally hand grenade in the middle of everything you're trying to do without fail.
Yeah.
The first time, it's just that's part of it, right? That's a planning factor.
Yeah, I mean, I have my hang and hunt down. I think last year I timed that I can get set up once I hit the base of my tree, set up, bow on the hanger, ready to go in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
But I remember last year when there was one day, and I was like, what the f- is going on? I can't remember what I did wrong, but it was one little detail that I had forgot, and it put me back 15 extra minutes.
Yep.
And even when you have it down like I do, with my hang and hunt situation, the one little thing can just throw you off if you don't.
Well, and I'm the same way, where it's not just at the tree. The way that I get ready at the back of the truck is always the same. The same gear comes out at the same time. Everything's echelon. Mm-hmm. Well, the evening sit for the Delaware opener, I went and hunted with a buddy of mine. So I get there, I start getting ready. He's ready before me, comes to the back of the truck and starts talking to me.
Bad news.
Yeah, we're talking whatever. I go back to what I'm doing. Now I kind of feel like he's waiting on me. We're hunting different spots, but
you're there.
Yeah. And I get all the way up the tree. I get the camera arm in place, whatever. I forgot to put the base on my camera because camera was already in the pack. But normally I go and grab a couple extra things out of, I got one of those Yeti boxes that a buddy of mine gave me for being in his wedding. Great groomsman's gift. If anyone's listening to this, get your groomsmen something they can use. Those little Yeti boxes, phenomenal idea.
Dropping a check right there.
Yeah, hey, but worth it. Those guys mean enough to you to be in your wedding. Treat them nicely.
Hell yeah.
But and I got all the way up there, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm sitting there thinking back through the sequence of events. And normally, just out of habit, as soon as I get everything laid out, I will go and I will open that box just to look into it in case I'm forgetting something. It's just part of my little check. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing I didn't do. So I was like, well, if it happens tonight, a GoPro is going to have to be what everyone gets. But
so that's why you didn't shoot that velvet spike?
No, that was the second night.
Okay.
Could I have gotten a camera arm up in that tree yesterday? Sure, but I doubt you would have seen anything.
Yeah.
No, that was when old boy and all 10 people that all came in their own vehicle parked 100 yards from me on the edge of the road. Which, good for that guy. Congrats to that guy on killing a nice full velvet deer. But man, at least next time, carpool and take the pictures back at your stand or something. not on the side of the road, because as soon as he came out, it was the last 30 minutes. I started packing up. I was I'm done.
Yeah, that's a good point though. It's something I would do and not even think about. It's another hunter being there, but also I don't hunt public a whole bunch other than Nastique. So
yeah. And it's he probably had no idea I'm there, right? Like I'm cutting up, carrying on. So.
No, it is funny though.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in the stand, and I see this car comes up, and like the level I was at, the trees were overhanging just enough. I could see about 3/4 of the way through the bean field that led up to the road. That then there was corn on the other side. So this car comes up, and they like slam on the brakes really hard. I can see it through the trees. So that immediately catches my attention because I'm like, oh, maybe a deer's like crossing out of the corn. And then they speed back up. So again, kind of like validating what I thought. Well, then they get up about even with me, and they bang a Yui, and then they come back. So I'm like squatting down on my platform to get below the trees to pull the binos up to see what they're doing. And these two gals get out, and both of them put on hoodies, and they disappear to the left of the cornfield. And I'm like, well, they ain't walking back there to beat old boy up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he must have killed. And then, man, they just kept coming. And I'm like I said, that was like 45 minutes before shooting time. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Did you go over and see what it was, or no?
He was all right. So, I mean, he left like 5 minutes before shooting time was over.
What did you see?
They said the guy I was hunting with, because he knows him, he got a picture of it right there at the end. It was a nice nice 8-pointer, full velvet. I mean, nothing crazy, but I mean, for a deer in full velvet, like if it had walked out in front of me, it would have got the whole thing. Yeah, like I mean I'm not questioning his judgment at all. I totally would have shot that deer every single time.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited, getting ready to fire up for Maryland. So.
Yeah, and it's I'm lucky. This year was the first year I decided to hunt Delaware again, just trying to like broaden my horizons a little bit, get a little more time in the tree since I missed all of last year. It's supposed to get back up to like 85 on Friday, which sucks, but I can tell you the first couple of days of this year, I mean September 1st, that evening, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Shoot, opening morning, so like I'm packing all my clothes in North Carolina. It's early season. I don't need anything more than a t-shirt and my super lightweight hoodie that I rock. It was 51 degrees opening morning. Crazy. I was jackhammering in the tree. I was like, if you had told me on September 1st I was going to be cold, I'd have been like, no shot. It has been beautiful.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's one of those false falls.
Well,
yeah.
Right now, November 1st, it'll be like 70 degrees.
Yeah, well, it's supposed, because I kind of looked at it, it's supposed to warm up this weekend, and then I think Monday it's supposed to kind of go back to what it has been the last few days. So, just enough maybe to make everyone go, I don't really need to go bow hunting that bad.
Yeah.
Hunter's going bow hunting Friday and Saturday. I can probably see that.
Yeah, I'll probably be out.
Yeah.
You gotta go out opening day, I think.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Is there any gear that you don't leave home without?
Man, I mean, I'm always gonna have. Now I'm to the point. I'm always gonna have, obviously a set of binos and a rangefinder, and I'm always gonna have milkweed. So
What's the idea behind that?
Checking the wind.
Checking the wind, and then specifically, and this is kind of come more with thermals and understanding. Now here it's not as big of a deal. Now that I'm this year, I hope to hunt like Ohio and the hill country and stuff, where thermals is huge. But as I've played with milkweed, what I've learned is that I can get into compromising winds. But depending on where the sunlight is hitting the forest floor, if the wind is just light and variable, I can get over top that deer. By the way, it's rising and falling in the shaded and sunned areas. So I'll always check that. So at least even if I've got a compromising route, I'll check it. And obviously the last 30 minutes, everything's going to be falling all the time. But if I've got a good sun pocket on my downwind side, and then I don't have to be in such a rush if I'm going to shoot, because chances are if I'm high enough, I'm still getting over top that deer's back. So, and of course, there's 1.5 million things that are gonna dictate and influence that as it changes. But like just having a general understanding of how your scent is lingering through the woods, it can totally impact whether you see that deer and you rush a shot, or you're like, I should be good. Let me take the time to collect myself and do this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So other than that, I think now that I've gotten into saddle hunting, like I've got a couple hang-ons, like presets. I still wear my saddle. I'd rather wear that than a harness. Just the comfort and the freedom of movement, and quite honestly the confidence that I have in that setup to catch me if I fall. I prefer that way more than a harness. I got dumped out of a tree. That was probably 4 or 5 years ago in one of them. First sit, Maryland. That was back when I was shooting like a wrist release, and a lot of those rope men that are on your tethered line have like the figure 8 steel braid for them to release them if you can't do it with your thumb. And I reached over to get something out of my pack, and the trigger on that wrist release caught it. So I'm full reached over to the left side of the tree, hit it. It lets the slack out, and it dumped me off the left side of the tree before I even knew what happened. I'm like 25 feet up,
man,
just sitting in my saddle.
That's crazy.
Before I ever knew what happened.
Wow.
And because of everything's off the front of you, etc., it also allows a natural pivot point that then you can like reach around to your stick or whatever, instead of if it's on your back, you're kind of turtle on your back. I'm sure you could get around, but it just makes it so you're right there on the tree and can get back up, barring you're not seriously injured or something. But
shoot up the meat, spit out the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got their way.
Yeah.
It seems to work best for you.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's cool.
And I think that I have used the saddle before. They are pretty sweet.
Yeah. And it just the comfort, and the thing that I love about them, and probably like what grabbed me first, I always used to be terrible about sitting in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock. I'm fidgety.
Yeah.
It's time to go. And at least with that setup, like I can adjust, I can move, I can change what I'm looking at a little bit. The first year that I started using one, like I noticed it could get to like 9:30, 10 o'clock before I would ever have the first feeling of like, all right, I'm kind of getting fidgety, because I can just naturally change my weight and shift. And so
I probably should have given it more of a shot, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I didn't have the best one, and I could have dove a little deeper in, but
yeah, the whole thing that pushed me that way too was when I was moving up to Quantico at the end of 20, started 21. Everything up there, you weren't allowed to leave anything, any sets, any ladder stands, any hang-ons, right? And I was like, man, like if I'm gonna be toting this thing back and forth, like I want something that is super light that I can wear in, carry in, rather than doing a climber or hang on with a bunch of steps and stuff. So that was the first thing that I was like, yeah, I'll give that a try. And it really works for me. I enjoy it. You can get up into damn near anything.
Yeah.
So it's a good multi-purpose tool. Like, sure, I sit in trees all the time that you could get up in a climber and probably be a little more comfortable. But I can then also get into stuff like I did yesterday. It's light enough. Like I carried 3 sticks in. I only used 1 to get up into the tree limbs, and then I was able to. You'd never got like a
hang hunt,
like a hanging hunt there, like a lone wolf or something. But that little platform, I was able to get it right in there so that I had something solid to stand on. And I was hunting.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool. Yeah,
So.
I'm not really messed with them at all, honestly. So
Yeah, it's just the versatility that it provides. And I mean, I've done all day sits in a saddle, and it's one of those things that comes with understanding. You're probably not going to be as comfortable now. The new one I got, that thing's a Cadillac.
Yeah.
That thing is comfortable. But the one that I was rocking before, 2-panel, still super comfortable, but like Definitely not as comfortable as sitting in a lone wolf or something all day, but give and take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Well,
you got anything more?
No, I'm just pumped.
Dude,
The deer season's coming up. You do any sick of deer hunting?
So I have. I got one buddy of mine that he lives and breathes it. I don't know. To me, if they're bugling, I'm about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man, but it's one of those things that it's very seldom that I get the time off. Truly, in like the middle of October, to get home and chase them. And then if I'm home, it's the rut, and that's where I want to be. And then after that, they're not bugling, and I look at it as an investment thing, right? Like I understand whitetails more, so I can feel more competitive, even if it is end of November, December, January, as opposed to strolling down to Blackwater and trying to just sit, walk through the frag and hope one comes out 5 minutes before shooting time. I just don't feel as competitive. I truly enjoy them. I certainly love eating them. I think we all know that a Sika tastes better than a whitetail.
Yeah.
Man. But to me, it's just like a competitive thing. Mm-hmm. I have told myself I'm going to try to make a more dedicated effort to kill a stag this year, but it doesn't set my soul on fire.
Yeah, you got to do what you like.
Yeah. And I mean, they most certainly do. I just don't think there's, a lot of guys get like grabbed by them, right? And I think where I was back and forth to Crocherin my entire life, like Sika deer are just Sika deer to me. I grew up around them, like they're not that that majestic thing that everyone from eastern Pennsylvania that floods the woods during muzzleloader seems to think they are.
Yeah. I find myself every year saying I'm just gonna Sika deer hunt, and then like if I have a deer, because there's so many days that I've had them on camera, you know what I mean, when I'm whitetail hunting, but I go back and forth. That's my problem. I can't pick one thing.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
And I think I think if I still lived around here, was able to jump in the woods every time I wanted to and whatever, I'm sure I would have a more balanced approach about it. But I'm never gonna take leave to Sika deer hunt.
Yeah,
I am totally gonna burn leave.
You are.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm going. I'll be in California until November 7th. For a course. I'll be going all of October. When they told me the dates, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Yeah. Now, if I was going to that course and it ran through like October 25th, tight. Don't care. But my buddy's like, oh man, the Sika rut. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. Don't care. As long as I can be back here by, Halloween, I'm good. It's just whatever you're into, I guess.
Yeah, I'm relatively new to Sika deer. Last year I had a couple opportunities, but I blew them both. I let those guys get in my head. They're like, dude, you saw some? Which we are all seeing them, but once I realized how rare it was to see them, then I get an opportunity, and I was like, oh man, I just let it get to me. I
slung one, dude.
Yeah, I did sling one at 40 yards, which was It was. I was confident. It might have been 50. I can't remember. I don't recall.
Which is far for a 6.
Yeah, that's a poke.
Yeah,
they're tiny.
Well,
compared to whitetail,
I felt confident. But
I mean, you
clearly,
should the way you shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's cool.
The wind, all that jazz.
Yeah, I'd love to kill one. It's the same thing, right? Because the farm that we lease has a relatively good Sika population on it too. But then it's I'm home. I've probably been neglecting the family time a little too much. I mean, shout out to my parents. They let me come home, post up at their house, and they know that they're going to see me maybe in the morning if I don't hunt, maybe midday after the gym, and then sometime after dark. And like 9 times out of 10, like I come home and I hit the ground running. So, when I come home on like Christmas holiday and stuff, goose season's in, I try to take that time, like unless I have a deer that I think I can truly kill, I kind of hang everything up and just focus on goose hunting with my dad and my brother, and spending more time with the family to kind of buy some of that back. So, there's a give and take that exists there. They let me run rampant the rest of the year because, I mean, even if I come home for Easter, you can guarantee I'm going to be in the woods at least one day, like scouting, pulling cameras that have been soaking, etc. Like, so I try to take the later part of the season to just focus on, like, like you guys were talking with Billy, like that camaraderie hunt, and just enjoying the experience and being with the people more so than being a whitetail fiending individual and going crazy.
That makes sense. Do you take your bow with you when you go on trips and deployments?
No, I haven't. Everywhere's so weird. I would love to figure. I mean, where we are in Japan, it's hard enough to shoot or like get ranges out there because everyone's scared to death they're gonna upset someone. So I haven't. I would love to be able, because that's one thing. Missing hunting is tough, but I miss just shooting the bow too. Yeah. I wish I could just post up, but. Yeah, everywhere we are, we're on a base with like other individuals. We're not like on our own compound where I could do something like that. It's not worth the hassle because it'd be my luck. Shipping something over there, that thing would end up somewhere it wasn't supposed to be, get tore up, whatever. So I'm like, just you can hang out. You can stay in storage for right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. I can't, dude. If it goes a couple of days or a day or two without seeing it, I'm like, I gotta get out there and shoot it, dude. I'm addicted to shooting it.
I wish, especially like up in Camp Fuji. I think I sent you that video from the sick stag there.
It's crazy,
insane. It's you have to be a citizen to get a tag.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and because I've looked in.
I'm sure
this. I'm going back there again next August, so I'll miss all of next hunting season as well. Yep. So 2 out of 3 years on the bench, but I'm still trying to pull some strings to figure out because I've heard there's a couple loopholes from the guys that work range control over there. I'm trying to figure that out, but man, the stags over there are insane. Like like the stuff you see in New Zealand. I mean, they're hammers.
That's cool.
Like you put one of them, cut that loose in the marshes of either Aztec or Blackwater, someone's gonna have a stroke in the tree when that thing comes through. Like, so a couple of my guys sent me a video. They were out in the train area and jumped one up with a gun truck, and they're like, "Are these those sick deer you're talking about?" I'm like, kinda. Like, ain't ever seen one like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's crazy.
Definitely exposed to different stuff. I think they originated in Japan, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're from imported.
Yeah, so they the island no longer exists. They keep saying that they're gonna rebuild it. But the guy who owned James Island, which sits probably a mile, maybe a mile and a half to the west of Dorchester County, between Hudson and Taylor's Island. He bought a few of them, and he had a bunch of animals and stuff out of there. Well, the distance at that time between James Island and Taylor's Island, because I used to hunt James Island, hell, you used to be able to wade across there in a pair of waders on low tide. I mean, it was only 300-400 yards at one point. So they, of course, migrated across. Well, then, how they ended up? Do you know how they ended up getting down here to Aztec?
I can't remember.
This was back in, I want to say it was either the late 60s or early 70s, somewhere around then. It could have been the 50s. But a Boy Scout group bought some off of a guy who still had a herd of them in Dorchester County.
This sounds like a myth.
No, I've heard that story. I've
never heard that.
No, so they
I believe you.
They bought them, and they had as a fundraiser, whether it was like a petting zoo or display, whatever,
on the boardwalk, right?
On the boardwalk down the beach.
Really?
That's what I heard.
And when they were done with them, they just cut them loose.
Yeah,
that's how they cut them loose on Aztec, and that's how you got sick of deer on Aztec. That's why.
So this was before Andrew, because the boardwalk, right? Is it Hurricane Andrew or what? when the.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I know the creation of the inlet and everything else, but yeah, like, so that's why for years, and obviously, Cicadere have continued to spread their influence, but for years, I mean, before they were ever in Wicomico or Worcester County, that's how you had the great divide of they're in Blackwater and they're on Aztec. Because a bunch of Boy Scouts transplanted them and cut them loose.
Boy Scouts.
I heard that story too. I don't remember where it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't long ago.
Yeah, I didn't know that until last year. I read an article on it. Wow. But that's truly how they originated both in Dorchester County and then down here.
Yeah. Well, them Boy Scouts, they've been getting a bad rap at some points, but I like that.
Yeah. Cool. That's a win for the Boy Scouts. That's a win
for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah. Oh man.
Way back when boys were boys.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling us that they're trying to eradicate them on Aztec for horse. Like they're eating too much
of horses.
Hot take.
Yeah,
hot take.
Whatever, I get it, but
just biting people.
No, like they screw up the marsh and shit more than the Cicadere. I mean, the trails and everything, 100%. There's no way.
Yeah.
They're giant. Look at them.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
But I have heard that too. Someone tried to say they brought in Navy SEALs to whatever. I mean, like the mountain. Like, you're never, if you've ever tracked one of them, you're never going to get rid of them. I don't care. Normal bullshit unless you drop guns on them.
They've been
bombs.
They've been trying to eradicate, but control the population in Dorchester for years.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear wives' tales all the time, and I'm sure there's some validity to some of it. Where DNR was seen down on Smithville Road. This was like 15 years ago, releasing coyotes trying to thin them out, and all types of stuff. Crop damage permits, excuse me. They're to the point now, like
it ain't no going back.
Yeah, you're never. And I will, I do sympathize with the farmers because they will devastate your stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's what we got now. I mean, I have seen end of February, early March, for lack of better terms, they'll all school up again like fish.
Yeah.
And man, you go down. Oh man, I forget the name of the road. Don't matter. IVO Goodies. Everyone in Dorchester County knows where Goodies is. Man, you go down there in the middle of the night and freaking shine a field, and it looks like fireflies in July. There's 150, 200 of them out there. Wow. So, and I mean, they will devastate your stuff. But
maybe they'll open the door to some farmers to let some hunters in there.
You would think. You would. Maybe. So, I mean, you would think, but everyone, they love to complain about that, but then they want to lease their 50 acres of marsh for $20,000 to a bunch of dudes that are just going to come down off the Western Shore and out of PA and hunt it 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, isn't there? I guess that's a question. It's not really valid. Doesn't matter. It's an asked question we probably don't know the answer to, so it doesn't matter.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, okay.
Say it now.
The crop damage insurance has to cover it. So there's got to be some kind of thing where it's probably a whole big rigmarole of like, don't want the hunters, but we also can claim it. So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's just too complicated to open that door.
Yeah,
so
there's probably
I don't know enough about it.
A middle ground they want to hit.
Right. I don't know enough about it to even say anything on it. That's why I didn't.
You're not trying to.
No. I don't want to ruffle anything. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so. I don't either. I would just have to imagine that, like, hey, if I get a car wreck every year and file with my insurance, like, my premium's going to be higher.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, eventually, one has to outweigh the other.
I agree. But, it would be cool as a hunter to get a piece of private ground down there.
Yeah, even if and I could go on and on about the way the this is a very uneducated view, right? If someone jumps in here and asks me about specifics, I'm not going to have it for you. But this is just my wave top opinion of how the state manages its Cicadere herd. One, if you've never been down to Blackwater at the start of muzzleloader or rifle season, it is unsafe, right? Like, one, I think it needs to go to not non-resident deer hunting in totality, but the sick of deer thing should be a specified tag, right? Like a purchasable tag with, or even so much too as a preference point. So the state's going to make money on it, right? But I also think that it should, right? Because now like deer are starting to split up, etc. Very similar to what other states have done to manage their herd. Why is there not an earlier gun season or an earlier season for them? And you know, it can be in specific regions, right? Like Astig, probably not the place for this, right? But there are places down in Dorchester County where they are so thick that, like, if you did a week-long season sometime in August, you start getting after the numbers a little bit, if that's truly their concern. Right? But right now, yeah, anyone can buy a tag.
Yeah, I think
what was it? It was a couple years ago down on Smithville Road. Opening morning a muzzler, and Smithville Road's about 7 miles long. Blackwater on both sides. There was 156 pickups parked on the side. I mean, it was like parallel parking in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have a stance on that, but I mean, I think a lot of them are killing. I think it's probably managed pretty well.
Yeah.
I know people talk from back in the day where, like my dad and other people that were hunting them, they used to see them so much more. So I don't know. Maybe they're complaining about that. Maybe there is a population. Obviously, there is for the farmers. Sorry, in that certain region. I'm thinking more over this way. But the tag thing, that part drives me crazy. I feel bad for people like, say, Billy, who lives, or someone more so in like Selbyville that wants to come hunt sick of deer. They pretty much live in Maryland.
Yeah.
They do everything in Maryland, but they got to pay a $200 tag. I sympathize with you 100%. But the people from wherever, other bordering states, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, Jersey, like, think about what you're complaining about. A $200 sick of deer tag, you can kill sick of deer in one state on public land in the whole United States, for the most part. There's a little bit in Delaware. You can go kill elk in, 12 to 15 states on public land, and you got to pay $1,000 for that. You can only kill sick of deer on public land in one state in the United States, and you're complaining about a $200 tag.
Yep.
Insane to me.
And that's my thought, right? Like, what I'm not trying to do is gatekeep the marsh, right? But if they're, and I'm looking at this not from the hunter aspect, but from like a managerial,
to make everyone happy, make it work.
Managerial, and get after the problem while doing things the right way, right? Like, say you did, whether it was a preference point, an extra tag, a lottery, whatever. If you take just the money because the hunting population that seeks to do it is large enough now. If you take just that money and you rededicate it into funding for how to manage the herd, or even if you're taking that and you're like, hey, as the state, I know that these things are, for lack of better terms, like a nuisance. They're destroying your crops, whatever. It might not be much, but we can give you $10,000 back every year towards this thing, or what. Like, there's a happy ground somewhere that exists to push that funding in a direction that either helps the individuals affected or manage the herd appropriately.
Yeah, I'm laughing because everything you're saying sounds great, but you gotta think we're also dealing with the state, so it's like nothing's gonna get done anyway.
Yeah, no, old Les Moore, he ain't gonna do nothing about that.
So it's funny, we want to talk about all this, and we're all bitching about this and that.
You're never gonna catch me in Annapolis, beating the drum for it.
I probably should, but
it's just a good idea.
So.
Yeah,
cool.
Well, yeah, man. One last question: what's your plans moving forward? Like, after the Marines the dust settles.
Well, I got a little while for that. I'd been on the fence about whether I was going to stay in, get out. Now I'm almost 35. I still love what I do. I'm about to hit my 9-year mark. I mean, I might as well ride that thing for 20, right? And then go from there. I figure as long as I still love it, I'll continue to do it. And then after that, I mean, just being fully transparent, the benefits, the retirement is good enough that even though my only qualm with the Marine Corps is I don't get to hunt as much as I do, and I miss a couple seasons. But there's no guarantee that wherever I would go and work in corporate America, making the money I'm making and with the benefits that I have and everything, that anything would be any different, right? Like that's unless, and both you guys know this, like there's not even a guarantee that if I were to go work for myself that I'm going to be in the woods every single opportunity that I want, right? Like,
or if you have 3 kids.
Yeah, or if you have 3 kids or, whatever, right? I pray to God one day I'm there.
Yeah. Wasn't there the saying like the devil you know
versus the devil you don't.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
So, I would really like to do at least, my 20 years and get the retirement there, because then it opens up a whole new can of worms, right? Like, hunter's pipe dream. I don't know if it's going to lead me out to the Midwest or it's going to lead me back here. But ideally I'm floating somewhere around the age of 50. I'm working part-time for either someone or myself, like cutting grass from March to October. And then I'm hunting the other 6 months out of the year, right? Like
that's cool.
That's, because I've got a retirement, I've got great benefits, and I don't have to work.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm sure I need to work at some point or something, right? They're saying idle hands are the devil's work. Don't leave me idle.
Yeah.
You think I'm a gear guy now?
Yeah.
I'd be doing all types of crazy stuff, right? But I'm very much okay with living my life the way that I do right now and grinding the way that I do, because after that, I'd like to think that the door is going to open to where I can have a lot more control over what I do after that. And I still love what I do. I love what it stands for. I love the people that I get to meet and work and interact with. The places I get to go. Like, I'm not ready to give that up yet.
Yeah. Is there any want to grow the grunt hunt outdoors?
So
into
it's
some media or something?
It started as like my pet peeve used to be, like, I had 2 Instagrams. I had like my personal Instagram, and that really started as just a way to share my hunting experience. And the whole premise behind it was like, hey, like, yeah, I'm in places that aren't that great to hunt, depending on what you're doing. But like I still find a way to get out and get after it. And then it kind of evolved, and I kind of did some merch and stuff. And I think one day I'd like it to grow. But if I'm being honest right now, like it's too many things to juggle. Like I remember when I did hats, and then I was talking about like doing shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. And Dallas was like, dude, once you start doing shirts, it's a whole different ball game, because it's sizes and at least a hat, like, hey, one size fits most, and it truly was. And I mean, I enjoy it, and I love the support. I mean, so many guys, military, not military, that reach out and are they are truly invested in what I'm doing, just because of the passion that I display. I mean, we were joking about that full velvet spike last night. But, what I think about while I'm at work and I'm going from the shore and everything, like, my mind comes back to here. And I think about being in a competitive situation and validating all the things that occupy my little brain, the rest of the year of, hey, if I go and I get in this tree and the wind's doing this and I think the deer are going to do this, like, and then to just go and see them do that, like, obviously it's not as good as killing, right? But it's what keeps you coming back for more. It's like man, like I walked out last night grinning. That little spike got me jacked up because he did exactly what I thought a deer would do, and that was a huge win in my book. I just jackhammering over a little velvet spike.
Well, that's why they call it hunting.
Yeah,
not killing.
Yeah,
harvesting. But
I was fired up. It was everything I wanted it to be. Like I said, read the script, wrong character.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, wrong character.
Yeah,
tried out for the part last night. So
yeah. Is there any social medias you want to plug on here?
Yeah, I mean, so I was talking about, originally, now my Instagram has just turned into everything about me. But if anyone does want to look at it, it's Grunt Hunt Outdoors. So it's grunt_hunt_outdoors. You can catch anything on there from hunting, gear stuff, my daily gym stuff, some motivational words, because I just enjoy that. I get a lot of good feedback off of the daily thoughts when I do them and stuff, and just overall marine experience. Like it is
solid follow.
It's the one-stop shop for that, and every now and again something good to laugh at as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I like it, so keep doing what you're doing, man.
I appreciate that.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate your time coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Pleasure meeting you, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Real quick.
Oh, nice. What you got?
Let me take my feet over there.
Oh, you're not giving me a truck? Damn. Yeah, what we got here?
I just got you a hat and a shirt.
Dude.
Nice.
Yeah, that's anytime I'm home, I normally make a trip down to Dallas.
So that one, it's the working class outdoorsman t-shirt that I haven't come out with. Like, I haven't made a video on it yet. But,
yeah. Hell
it's in
yeah.
the shop, so it kind of just speaks to
work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much. That's awesome.
I appreciate your support.
Man, always.
Continued support you always give. And like you said earlier, just being a good person. And that resonates with me. Yesterday was my son's first day of school. And I remember the 3 things I've been telling him lately. Work hard, be a good person, and don't let anyone push you around.
Yep.
And that literally, like, when you said that, I was like, dude, give me chills.
Man, yeah.
We can make a coin that says that.
Dude,
like what was the coin they called? What the coin?
The challenge coins.
Yeah, the challenge coin.
Yeah.
We need our own, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, like those stickers y'all got, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
man,
when you said that, man, I was like, man, that was cool.
It hits home, dude.
Man, if I said 2 things, if you can do those 3 things, man, like if there's nothing worse than interacting with or working with someone that's like wishy-washy. Like you get a different version of them every day.
Yeah.
Kind of the caveat what I said earlier, like you can be an asshole, right? You can be an asshole. You can still care about the people in the mission. You can be an asshole. But if I know where your line is, what you stand for, I can work for you, no problem. Just as easy as I can work for, a great guy. Mm-hmm. But when it's like, one day it's this, Jekyll and Hyde type thing, and you're constantly trying to figure out who that individual is. Mm-hmm. That's everyone's nightmare. It's like, what version do I get of you today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
But no, man, thanks for having me on. Huge supporter of you guys and everything you guys do. You guys are a bunch of solid freaking dudes. And I'm honored and humbled to be here. Thank you guys for having me on. And again, great 3D range, great freaking, great freaking shop. Great freaking studio. Man, just a phenomenal morning out here. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man.
Maybe next time you'll be telling us a story about a deer you killed.
Dude, again, I romanced it in my mind when I got in that tree last night. And I was like, man, if I kill, we're dropping the first story tomorrow, dude. It would have been great. It would have been. But there's always time for more. Always.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Awesome.
We're peacing out.
All right.
Sweet.
See ya.